Hello, this is Paris Underground Radio. My name is Annette Deleu, and this is The Heart of You. We have all left the house and realized, I forgot my keys, or my phone, or my wallet. What if I were to tell you that being present, being grounded, and living in mindfulness could assure that this would never happen again? In today's episode, we are going to discuss how being present and grounded can help you in your everyday life. Let's start with what being grounded means. Being grounded is being entirely in your body, connected to the earth, and being present. And you might ask, how exactly do I do that? It's incredibly simple. To start, I would like you to take one really deep breath as you inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. This simple practice can get you back into the present moment. And you can do this anytime. You don't need a half an hour of meditation in order to constantly be present. I would like you to connect to a moment in time where you did forget your keys or your wallet or your phone at home and didn't realize that you had done so until maybe minutes or hours later. What was happening when you left the house? Were you thinking about what you were going to make for dinner later on that evening, or were you worried about a deadline that you had at work? These are both indicators of the fact that you were living in the future and not in the present. You were thinking about potential outcomes, potential things that were going to be happening later on in the day. I would encourage you, before you leave your house today, just take a very quick moment, take a deep breath, and just be present with yourself. Don't think about what is going to be happening for the rest of the day or what happened yesterday. When you do this practice of just breathing and being present for a couple of seconds before you leave the house, you'd be amazed at how much it changes the entire energy of your day. Once you've mastered that, then try to do it at various other times during the day. When you start feeling yourself getting stressed, or you start feeling yourself worrying about the future or ruminating about the past, just take a moment, take a deep breath, and be present with yourself. Once you have spent some time practicing being present with yourself and taking your deep breaths and paying attention to what is happening in your life right now in the present moment, I would like you to practice grounding yourself. There are many ways to ground yourself, and it is important to find the way that works for you. Or you can use a combination of all of the techniques I am going to outline here. One of the techniques for grounding that I use with my clients every single time I have a session is to imagine that you have beautiful roots coming from the soles of your feet and diving all the way down into the center of the earth. Now, it doesn't matter if you are really good at visualizing, just the intention itself will make all the difference in the world. One of the beautiful parts about energy work is that it's like going to the gym. The more you do it, the stronger it gets. So the more often you are able to ground yourself and do this very brief visualization, the stronger your grounding will become over time. Another way that you can support your grounding practice is through food. When you think about comfort food, sometimes you think about soups and potatoes and all of those types of root vegetables. That is exactly why your body is craving them, is because you are needing more grounding. The biggest and most effective way that you can ground yourself is through spending time in nature. We don't always have that opportunity, especially if we live in a big city, but I would very much encourage you to find time on a regular basis to be in nature as much as possible. If you have access to mountains or oceans, that's fantastic, and I very much encourage you to spend as much time there as you can. If you don't, then simply going to a place that has grass, taking off your shoes, and putting your feet on the earth will achieve the exact same thing. Another way is to simply move your body. I love to dance, and so dancing in my living room, either just to a song that I really love, or whether it's a dance fitness class, that is a really great way to get in your grounding. It doesn't have to be dance. If you like to run or cycle or anything else that is going to move that energy is going to help. And I would like you to pay attention to what your body is telling you while you are moving. Are you having little aches and pains somewhere? Is your body happy doing what it's doing? Because if it's not, I encourage you to change what you are doing based on your body's reaction. You may not need exactly what you are doing at this moment. So if you are doing something more rigorous like running and you're starting to feel little aches and pains, be nice to your body and actually take a step back. And maybe that just means that you need to take a walk or do something a little bit more gentle with your body. The purpose of this is to eventually start listening to yourself, your intuition, and what your body is telling you. We will talk about in a later episode how to use divination tools like tarot cards and pendulums, but your body is one of the most effective tools that you can utilize to get messages from your intuition and your higher self. If you are not grounded in your body, if you are not paying attention, you are going to miss all of those little signals and all of those little communications from your intuition and from the universe. These are just a few of the ways in which you can ground. There are many, many other ways that I have not discussed here, such as Qigong, yoga, Tai Chi, and there are many YouTube meditations on how to ground yourself. I would encourage you to look those up and just get started. Let's talk about time for a moment. You may be asking yourself, well, if I'm living in the present moment, how am I supposed to keep a calendar and a schedule with appointments and clients and all of the things that we have to do in our daily lives? Being present and grounded will help you create a more beautiful future. For example, if a friend calls you and asks you to go out to dinner for a particular night, and your instant visceral reaction in your body is to not go out with this friend, and you ignore it and decide to go anyway, you are already infusing this resistance energy into that particular activity. Now, it may not be that you don't like this friend. You could actually just need some time on your own, or you may have other things that you need to be doing, but you decided to commit to it simply because you didn't want to disappoint this friend, or you felt guilty for saying no and standing up for what you need. If you are listening to your intuition and you decide to say to your friend, you know what, that day doesn't work for me. I am needing some time alone, or I need to work on this project. So let's reschedule sometime next week when I have a little bit more time. Honoring yourself and what your intuition is telling you will simply allow you to make the plans in the future that will be much more harmonious and aligned with what your higher self wants. If you would like to learn more about living in the present moment, there are many, many books that have been written already about this subject, one of which I would recommend is Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now. There are also many meditations on YouTube as well as books on mindfulness. I would highly encourage you to find the one that works for you and read up a little bit more on the subject. We will be right back with the Heart of You after a word from our sponsors.
While walking the streets of Paris, do curious details ever catch your eye? The city has a myriad of lieux cachés or hidden places, and we uncover the most intriguing ones on the Paris Cachet podcast. If you're keen to explore Paris on a deeper level, then join Paris Cachet host Lily Heisey and a cast of zany historical figures from queens to angry mobs as we traverse the city and the centuries on our quest to discover the surprising stories behind these lieux cachés. The Paris Cachet podcast is available every other Sunday on Paris Underground Radio. Visit parisundergroundradio.com/Paris Cachet to listen and subscribe.
When former college roommates Joanne and Britt join up for a hike in the Colorado Rockies on Joanne's 25th birthday, they're prepared for a light, fun, 4-hour walk culminating in delicious birthday barbecue.
You ready? Britt, are you putting on lipstick?
So what?
So we're about to go on a 4-hour hike up the Rockies.
So? Mother Nature will appreciate the effort. But when they decide to follow a mysterious arrow in the woods, things take a turn for the bizarre. Hey, wait, this rock has an arrow painted on it. Was that yours?
I don't remember an arrow.
Should we follow it? Maybe it's a sign.
We don't want to get lost, though. There's only this one trail.
Well, let's just take a little peek. What could possibly go wrong? With not much more than lipstick, dental floss, and their own senses of humor to get them through, will they survive against Mother Nature, unexplained occurrences, and an abandoned town that may not be abandoned after all? Babes in the Woods, an original comedic mystery series. Wednesdays on Paris Underground Radio.
Welcome back to The Heart of You on Paris Underground Radio. The other reason staying present is going to help you is when we start delving into the subject matter of divination, talking about psychics and tarot cards and looking into the things that are making up your soul path. It will help you not to go into what I call the future frenzy. I'm speaking about this because I went through it myself. When I first started having my spiritual awakening, I went to psychics on a pretty regular basis. I would say once every 2 to 3 months to get the energy or the updates on what was going to be happening in my life. And you can drive yourself crazy with this kind of behavior. Essentially, timelines are always moving. Based on your free will decisions, your trajectory of what is going to happen in your life can change on a daily basis. If you get a psychic reading today and you decide to move to another city tomorrow on a whim, that entire reading that you just got is completely changed. There are times that I will delve into the future in my sessions with my clients. Most of the time when I am guided to do so, it is because they might be on the wrong path. There might be something that they need to do in order to course correct for their soul's journey. In that respect, getting a reading from a psychic or getting a tarot reading can be incredibly helpful to allow you to see the things that you are not able to see yet. Again, it's all about intention. So if you walk into a reading and you just want to know, is my boyfriend cheating on me? Is this person going to ask me to marry them? Or if you're asking all of these questions about what is going to happen in the future, it's incredibly difficult to get a read on that because you're dealing with not only your life path, but also you're dealing with the free will decisions of another human being. So you don't know what they are going to do at any given moment. They could change their mind tomorrow. And this is another point where living in the past or in the future can create a lot of suffering that is not needed. Now let's talk about fate and destiny for a second. You may want to know, do I have particular things in my life that are fated or destined to happen? And the answer is yes. Actually, there are many things in your life that you have already decided before you reincarnated that you were going to achieve in this lifetime. There are certain people that you're going to meet. There are certain situations that you are going to experience. But if you decide with your free will to do something completely different, it could change that timeline. It could change that fate. Maybe you were meant to experience something this year and you made a different decision. And so maybe now you're not going to experience that particular thing until 3 years from now. Think about your intuition and psychic guidance as a way to have your soul's path go in a straight line from point A to point B, as opposed to if you're not listening to your intuition and you are not getting guidance, you might end up going from point A to point Z, back to point M, and then maybe you'll get to point B. But this is how beautiful the universe is. Whether you take the straight line from A to B or you end up taking a really convoluted path toward your destiny, all of it is beautiful because you are still going to learn lessons along the way. And they are all lessons that you need to learn regardless. If, let's say, you were meant to meet a particular person that you were going to be in a relationship with, and that person was going to teach you a lesson, and for some reason you ended up not meeting that person, there will be another person that will come along that will teach you that exact same lesson. If you want to look at the big picture, it is about achieving what your soul came to this earth to achieve in this lifetime. We will cover more of this subject matter when we talk about the Akashic Records, otherwise known as the Book of Life. It's where we can access all of our past lives, everything that's currently going on in our life, and potential future lives. I hope this brought a little bit of clarity for you in regards to living in the present moment and how to deal with the past and the future. This is laying the solid foundation for you to be able to jumpstart your spiritual journey. Join us next week for episode 3, Clearing Your Energy. I will be interviewing a Reiki master, and she will be talking about how you can clear your chakras, how you can clear your energy to help keep your spiritual autonomy. I want to thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to walking this journey with you and pointing the way on your spiritual journey. If you are interested in learning more about me and the sessions that I do, feel free to go to my website at infinitesoullove.com. You can also follow me on TikTok and Instagram. I post daily tarot card readings there at infinitesoullove1111. If you are interested in listening to more podcasts like this one, don't forget to head to Paris Underground Radio at parisundergroundradio.com.